Got a feeling a few more will join. Should join. We'll give it another minute or so. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, team. I appreciate you all. And I'm feeling grateful for being here with you all today. So it's good. Life is good and God is great. And for my obviously American friends, US friends, happy Thanksgiving. So double the celebration. Double celebration. Bring on the confetti. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we got a few more people joining in. So I reckon we'll get started. I reckon we can just about get cracking. It's enough time, enough people. Thank you, thank you. And let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another week of trading here with Aussie. And as usual, thank you for being live with me here today. And if you're watching the recording, just make sure that you drop a comment down below so you let me know that you are watching the recording and that you like the content. And if you don't like the content, let me know so we can change it. Good day today. It is my birthday indeed, and it's also Thanksgiving Day. So double celebration, and hopefully the markets are nice to us. But if that's okay with everyone, I just quickly wanted to, given that it is Thanksgiving, before we dive in the chart, just to ground ourselves, just a very quick prayer. I am grateful for the year that I had with you all here in GTG, and I'm grateful for everything that I have in my personal life. So I believe in God. Not to say that my God is the God. I'm not pushing Christianity on anyone. But I am faithful. So I just want to say quick prayer and come to with gratitude today to all of you. So dear Father, thank you for the community that you've given us. Thank you for all the students of the markets that we are and you've given us in this group. And thank you for all the people that are here with us today, either here with us today or watching the recording. Thank you for letting us grow a little bit every day. We grow together, and that is the best kind of growth. So thank you for showing us the way. Thank you for showing us the charts and showing us signs in the markets. May you always help us to find grounding emotions when we are trading, and may you always support this community in the years to come. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I just wanted to do this. Bless to all of us, and hopefully we have a great year ahead. The 2025 is almost done. So let's bring on the next year. Let's have a look at the markets without any further ado. So straight into it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We have a Bitcoin dominance that is dropping as expected. And before I go any further, just make sure you stick around for the end because we have a little wheel to spin. Okay, little preview. So stick around until the end if you can, and if not, just drop a comment in the chat, and we'll make sure that if you were here and you had to go, we'll look after you. All right, Bitcoin dominance. First of all, big trend line taken. Great. Now we are approaching a weekly level that has been spoken to extensively. This candle right here, you can see it. I think you can all see this big juicy candle. It's a weekly one, and we are likely going to come and retest. There's buying pressure in this candle. There will be a rebound, meaning if alts are going to have a mini rally, hopefully in the coming days, maybe weeks, we also have to factor in for the retracement that goes back up. Okay, so this is, I'm talking now December, January 2026. So this is obviously on a weekly chart, but something that we should always form a higher time frame bias, right? Higher time frame is so important. So in the next coming weeks, I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to drop, and then potentially having a little rebound before hopefully melt down and coming somewhere in the low 50s. That's what we want to see. That's okay, Pat. You can watch the recording and you get a blessing to God bless everyone on this call and the recording. Now, if we know that Bitcoin dominance is going to drop, as usual, we can kind of form an opinion, right? We know that if Bitcoin dominance is going to drop, alts are going to drop. But let's have a look at what Bitcoin itself is doing. If you've seen this chart from the other week, you'll be familiar with it, and if not, it's okay, you can see it again. So these boxes are basically previous cycles, where we have in the green, obviously that was the nice bull market, and in the red box, red and blue, that's the bear market. We have now officially entered the 1,000 days, past 1,000 days, which has previously been the indicator of time indicator, I guess, of bull market exhaustion. And most importantly, we are testing this kind of trend line. You can see here, this trend line was formed using what's called a shift pitchfork. I'm not going to complicate your trading too much, but basically this is what they look like. You can basically identify areas of, if you like, level of support and resistance in through time, not just horizontally, but more so diagonally. So this is what's called a shift pitchfork. So a very important area that we identified last week, and we did indeed come and tested it. You can see on the week there, and now we are starting to bounce off of it. Now, how high do we bounce? And first of all, can we go and make another, run towards 95,000, towards 125,000? An all-time high from here is not impossible. And I want to say this out loud, because even though I am bearish in the shorter term, I do think that a possible fake out, liquidity grab, and a further downside movement is possible. This is my absolute most extreme scenario, though. To come up here, it will take a lot of buying pressure, which I simply don't see now just yet. Unless there's massive catalyst, I don't see them. There's a lot of good news, but there's not a lot of retail is nowhere to be seen. There's not too much buying pressure in my opinion. So this area is my next logical target. So the 110 area will be probably my first pick, and then as the second pick, we'll likely see the 98 to $95,000. So basically somewhere in between this imbalance right here. For reversal, I'm talking reversal. Okay, so we are gonna go up. This is called a buy to sell, BTS, right? Like the band, buy to sell. This is a buy to sell, meaning I am expecting, I've got a bias, we are gonna come lower, in my opinion, potentially. This is the absolute bear scenario, but the 50s, 60s, 80s, absolutely doable in my opinion in the coming months. Nothing new here. We have discussed this now for a few weeks, months. I was talking about bear market finishing in November, back in April, and now with this idea in mind, we can kind of have a bit of an idea what we want to do. Do we want to trade intraday, meaning our trades are going to be in and out in one candle, in one daily candle, so I'm trading lower time frame, or do I want to do swings? Personally, if I am going to be doing some swings, long swings like this one, they're always going to be buy to sell moves from now. And even this Bitcoin buy, which we absolutely sniped here, as you can see, we have now hit TP2 as of yesterday. So took one, took two, TP2, TP1, TP2 are done. I am now heavily, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I took 50% out here. I'm going to take a little bit more out. I think I'll probably exit about 75% of my position here, because we are starting to hit some really nice levels of possible reversal. TP3s, and I want to once again explain how TP1s and TP2s and TP3s work. TP1, you should always take some profit out and then move your stop loss at break even. TP2, you can leave your stop loss at break even. That's fine. If you want to be more conservative and depending on your position, you can actually move your stop loss to TP1. TP3 are the long swings. They are the ones that not always will get hit. So at TP2, I am very happy to be mostly out of this Bitcoin position, because now, as you probably see in here, I am actually looking for a intraday. Oh, lower time frame short. This is on a daily markup. This was a swing long. If we head down into the 15 minutes and 5 minutes, now we have to go quite a bit to the left. I usually have two screens, but it doesn't let me share two screens, so I marked them up for you. If we go back here, all the way back in mid-November, 20th of November, I see this nice buy to sell moves. I see that they get retested. I like this 5, 10, 15 minutes candle here. And all I do is I basically highlight it and drag it all the way to the right. That is going to be my first area of possible short. It is an area that can get invalidated. As you can see, there's another couple of area in 5 and 15 minutes candles immediately to the left. This is a nice, beautiful buy to sell, and this is also buy to sell that hasn't really been filled. So this one got filled, even though the wick has created a ton of liquidity up here. You can probably see, and if not, I'll highlight it for you. So all these equal highs are nothing else but liquidity. And down here we have this buy to sell, which didn't really get filled, got tapped just about. But I would like to see this this level at the very least retested. So we are talking 93.6 to 94.2 roundabout for Bitcoin possible short. Now this can be an intraday trade easily, meaning, you know, I like it to be over and out within the day. Hasn't hit yet my area, but it could also very much turn into a swing, and that's why it's important to have that mentality, which is why we just talked about daily, weekly, into minutes effectively. You can take two positions. There's nothing wrong with taking two positions. I've done it many times where I've got, you know, 1% risk, or was 0.5% risk on one position, and that's going to be my swing position. And then I've got 0.5% into my intraday trade. Same entry, same TPs, sorry, same stop losses, different TPs. Meaning that the intraday, obviously I have a set TP. You can see down here, in this case, I'm looking at 89, which is the previous high right here. Right, that's my first TP. But for a swing short, I am happy to let it run if it does run lower. Okay, so I actually do think that we will come back and retest this fib cluster down below, which this was our entry. That's how we had that sniper entry, was thanks to identify a fib cluster. Does anyone here live understand what fib clusters are, or do you want me to go over them quickly, or are we happy to move on? I just wanted to, because you see this fib cluster every now and then, yellow boxes on my chart every now and then, so some people might be interested, because I've got a good one to show you on Ethereum. Yeah, quick recap will be nice. Awesome. So here is how we identify the entry on BTC. Let me show you how we identify the entry on Ethereum. Same thing. Can you see the yellow box down there? Fib cluster. So fib clusters are always done basically grabbing Fibonacci's at different time frames, but also different structural levels. So I'm going to delete all this stuff so it's a little bit cleaner. Let me make this invisible on the daily so we don't get confused. Visibility days done. Okay, so this was the structure of daily Ethereum. Low, high. Can you see that within the structure, obviously we have M's and W's. That's how the market goes. So the first point that I'm going to be taking my fib from is going to be from the most recent structure. Okay, so literally from low to high. And you can make this one nice and thick, big thick line. Okay, within that structure of, or I should say within that impulse, you can see the market creates what? Higher high and higher lows, and just how the market moves, right? You can measure those impulses as well, especially all good. You can see that the market does create these higher lows, and basically this kind of, you know, sideways movement can be considered structure because there's liquidity building, there's liquidity grabbing, same below. So we should also measure those points for accuracy, and that we can do. So from low to high again, making sure that we grab the low. This time we'll make it a little bit thinner. We'll make it at 2 pixels. And now, if we go and actually go in a little bit closer, you can see that we have areas where the two major fibs overlap. They need to be quite close. They don't need to be far away. You can see here we have the most recent fib at 618 and the most recent fib at and the larger fib at 0.5. So this was a Fibonacci confluence. In the chat, do I like to trade the 0.5 and the 618? I hope you know my trading style. If not, no, I don't. I much prefer trading 786, okay, or more, because it offers a deeper retracement, but most importantly also offer a larger move more times than not. So if I have a most recent structure, which was down here, at 76 and a major structure at 618, this was easily a level that I was interested in. Fib cluster, hence the yellow box. Can you all see what it is? How we calculated the fib cluster? Basically overlapping two major fibs, two major structural points. So always start with identify the major structure, which was here and here, and then from there identify other major structure inside. Okay, obviously here market stopped for a while, create a structure. So I want to measure this move, and that's how we identify the fib clusters. Okay, hopefully it makes sense for everyone. So that entry on Ethereum was basically, once again, identified via an area. Now, an area is never enough for me to take a trade off of, okay? Never enough. So what I do want to see is I want to see breaker structure. So I've got an area that I'm interested in, which is the yellow box. You can see I left it on. I'm gonna leave it on the chart. I'm gonna clean the fib levels. I don't need them anymore. I've got my yellow box. That's the area that I was interested in. Market is obviously pushing down. Yeah, we're making lower lows and lower highs. And then all of a sudden, what do we see? What do we see, chat? Tell me, what do we see here? We were making lower lows and lower highs, and then we start making what? Yeah, that's a BOS. So I have an area that I've identified on a higher time frame, yellow box. I've got a structure on lower time frame that tells me that we've gone from lower lows into now higher lows. So is it a safe assumption to tell me, hey, we are likely going to reverse here because it's a major fib level and we're going to see what? A reversal. So once we see this kind of structure shifting on lower time frame at an area that we're interested in and pair with liquidity building, that is enough for me to press buy. This candle right here was the giver. 15 minutes, creates liquidity, grabs it, and then this candle was the one that eventually broke structure. Yeah, high probability trade, exactly, Paddy. So from there, this is how we enter our sniper Ethereum. You can see it. We're still, it's still printing. This is an awesome trade because we started off from daily, we went into hours, and we went into 15 minutes to wait for the breaker structure. Okay, so this is how we identify the trade in the first place. Now, what is it going to be now? Well, now you probably saw in the chat earlier today, in the perps chat, I called off this this scalp. So this is, once again, do you know your win rate when those confluences meet? Yeah, bro, it is pretty high. It's pretty high. We're talking 70-80%. I think someone was tracking the win rates of my calls, and it was 80% win rate. We are, Sam. We're doing good. That's why I am grateful. But that's Confluences, man. Like it took years. It takes years to figure out a system that lets you choose high probability trade. high probability trades. Meaning, when I press buy, when I press sell, I am not doing anything else but looking at, is this trade probable? What is the downside of it? What is the upside of it? Risk and reward, probability. I don't think in numbers, I don't think in dollars. As a trader, I suggest you stop thinking in numbers and in dollars and start thinking in percentages. I don't care how much the account is. It can be $10, $100, $1,000, $100,000, or $1 million. You should always think in percentages. Okay, so that's the biggest alpha that I can give you if you want to make a living off trading. Anyway, so back to the trade. We are now in a obviously lower time frame. We are in 15 minutes, and we can see that we likely going to, in my opinion, come back into this fair value gap. So this is once again lower time frame. This is a scalp, and I'll be happy to close it because eventually I do think we'll come back a little bit higher. So in Ethereum, if you are in that scalp with me today, mind you that there is a 4-hour order block that I'm interested up here. So we'll likely see some sort of chop and then some sort of chop and then potentially even higher before we go lower. So this is the importance. All this that I've done, I hope I didn't confuse you too much, but I've gone from daily to 4 hour to 1 hour to 50 minutes on purpose to make you understand the difference between higher time frame trading and lower time frame trading. So higher time frame, I've got days, you know, to trade off. This Ethereum trade has been going on for almost a week now, 5 days, and it's likely going to go on for probably another few days. I like it to eventually come back, and I don't know where he went, but it just disappeared. TradingView just bugging on me. I like it to come back and maybe take some of this liquidity up here. But these intraday trades we can still take. So yes, I knew that you would ask that, Pyro. This was a pretty simple trade in my opinion. So you can see liquidity, grab liquidity upside. What's left? Liquidity downside. Grabs it, and then all we have to do, fibs. You can see this was the first area. I brought an explanation in the chat as well. I said I would like to see this 15 minutes tapped, but I don't think we're gonna get it. And what I did see was this. Let me clear it a little bit more. This is what was evident. Liquidity. What do we do when we see trend lines tapped once, twice, 3 times? Guess what happens to trend lines? They get what? They get taken. They get taken. So we had a fib Confluence high to low at a 618, above the 618. This would have been a, I'll teach you a little secret, which it's a little juicy secret, but there's a little secret fib level, which is the 702. That's kind of like an institutional, and more often than not, once you go past the 618, that 702 gets tapped, and you can see. So I hit the 702 level, which it's my secret level. So I'm gonna take it out, but you guys are here with my birthday and Thanksgiving, so you get to get my secret juice. 702 level got tapped into this candle, and then of course we had the other conference, which was liquidity building, and liquidity always gets built. So now you probably saw in the chat, I think it was here, I said take profit, because we could very much starting to reverse from here. I do like what I'm seeing here in the sense that there is still liquidity being built, and that's nice because likely it will get taken. But there's also liquidity being built on the upside in the forms of equal highs. So it could literally just go both ways. If you trade patterns, I personally don't. You can call this, I guess, a flag. It's like pole, flag, and then usually this will be a bearish flag. So you would say that there's continuation on the downside. I trade these patterns. I used to trade them, but not anymore. I like to trade off of liquidity instead, because that's where market goes. Market doesn't care about printing flags. You got to look for liquidity. High time frame adds more strength than lower time frame, but we use lower time frame to find more precise entries and Confluence. That is absolutely correct, Pat. Aussie, do you always do from swing highs to swing lows when looking to short, and the opposite for longs? Absolutely, man. From swing lows, swing high to swing lows. Yes, absolutely, man. It's the same. Like, let me just quickly. So for those of you who are watching the recording, Pat is asking the chat, how do we take our fibs, right? Like if I'm looking for a short, I need to understand how deep, and I'll draw it on the chart for you, how deep of a retracement we will make, because I want a short here, right? So in order for me to understand how deep that retracement is, I need to measure it. And guess what Fibonacci is? It's a measuring tool. So I need to go from the high down to the low. If this was a long, you can just, you know, if you just press Option or Control Option I or Alt I on your keyboard, TradingView flips it. You would do the same. You would go from low to high for a buy. Yeah. This is something I actually recommend doing for some of my students as well. Inverting the chart, which, you know, literally Option I or Alt I. It's a really good way for you to see a setup. If you're looking for a short, in this case, I'm looking for a short. Do I see it? Yes, I do. Do I see a buy here? Yes, I also see a buy. So it's good to have that layer of extra confirmation. Alt I to reverse. So yeah, that's correct. So yes, to answer your question, Pat, always go from high to low to measure a short, and from obviously low to high to measure a buy. So that is exactly how we do it. So this is the logic behind this morning scalp, which is obviously in profit. I said, you know, take some profit. And let's see how that one goes. So for BTC, not active yet. We are looking for potentially go a little bit higher. For Ethereum, he already gave us that entry, and that's why we took it. In terms of Solana, Solana is in a bit of a different situation, in my opinion, than the rest of them. And I'll show you what I mean. So we have obviously come into June 22nd gap, institutional candle right here. You can see it. I've circled it there. So, and we actually grab downside liquidity. Looks like Sol might want to push higher. If you look at Ethereum structure on a daily, we are still printing lower highs, whereas Sol is actually starting to push a little bit higher, starting to make some higher highs. So Sol is the one that is actually showing the most strength at the moment, as opposed to say BTC, which is still far away from previous structure. Yes, we definitely check out Sol and ETH. At the moment, Sol is looking pretty good. So if I was to long anything right now, which I'm not overly interested, like I said, unless, you know, we sniped the bottom in BTC and ETH. But if I was to long anything right now, it will probably be Sol. I would have to go down into the 4-hour and see what kind of confluence I see. But I do have a feeling that a possible long for Sol may eventuate pretty soon. This is obviously a liquidity trend line that has been built, and if I was to wager an entry, it would be probably somewhere off of this candle right here. Nice 4-hour candle right there. And another way that you can do is obviously if you turn on the volume, you can see, is there enough volume? There's not a lot of volume there. There's a lot of volume down below here. The volume one is something that I haven't really shown too much to you guys, because I don't want to, once again, confuse your systems too much, but it's something that we can definitely talk more if you're interested in. And in terms of where do we sit at for possible entry, so 786, obviously our favorite area. This is 618, so I probably wouldn't take that entry just yet. Oh, nice. So if we go into the 1 hour, I'm going to delete that. Not interested anymore. And this is what I do to keep my charts clean. I'm going to box up the 786 and 886, so I know that that's my level of interest. And I hope you can all see this nice equal lows down here. Yeah. You can see them, low, low, equal low. So that's a nice liquidity level that I love for Sol to come back potentially and test before going higher. Something like that, I'll be interested for Sol. And you can probably, it's a little bit small, but that 1 hour candle right there has my interest. 1 hour candle, which is in my fib zone at a liquidity level. So for Sol, if I was to look for a buy, I will probably do something like this. Let me get my magnet out. And something like this is possible for Sol. I'll leave it on the chart, so you can take a screenshot if you want. So it's a 125 entry, 123 stop, and 144 TP. Obviously, TP is along the way, given that it's a 1 to almost 8 potentially. Okay. So for Sol, yes, she is excuse me, she is the one that is showing the most strength, in my opinion, in terms of the major force. XRP has got a ton of obviously catalysts happening at the moment. Also looks like wants to push higher. It has come in a major area of buying pressure. Once again, using fibs, we are back on the daily here. From low to high, which was up here, we are literally sitting, and you can see 50 to 618 area. So this is the normal trend. There will be buying pressure here. So far it's holding. Will it hold forever? I'm not sure. I do think we'll see that 1.15/84 cents for XRP at some stage soon, in my opinion. I'm definitely not saying, you know, it's a great buying area. Great buying area was down here, but if you don't have any XRP and we come back into 80 cents, well, then maybe, you know, you can start a little position there. I wouldn't start here at $2.20 personally. My TPs are still somewhere around the $4 for XRP, but yeah, the downside here is, you know, pretty much the same as the upside. That's how you got to think. XRP unlock on Monday. Yeah, might be the X. There you go. Love to see some Confluence in that regard. So for the main four, quick recap: no trades in BTC yet. We do have possible scalp coming up soon. Ethereum scalp, we are short at the moment. It is in profit. Make sure to take profit now. You can see we're starting to push up now again. Solana, it's the only one that I'd be interested potentially for a buy, which would be a nice edge if we do go down lower. And this is a very tight stop loss as well. So if you want to be a bit more conservative, you can actually put the stop loss a little bit below the previous low. This would be a more conservative play. Or you can do an entry 2 as well. Entry 1, entry 2, or simply just lower your stop loss to a 1 to 4. And for XRP, no trade for me at the moment. I do think we'll see lower potentially. So those are the main fours. And BTC dominance. Now let's take a look at some stocks, and let's have a little look-see at some stocks before we spin some wheels and see who wins. Hopefully what you think is a decent price. I think it's a pretty good price. Okay, PayPal is back at our entry from back in April. This is a gift in my opinion. So if you don't have either PayPal or don't have any stocks and you want to start a position with a stock portfolio, PayPal is something that, you know, in my opinion, in the next few years, you'll be glad that you bought at $60. So you can see how low we've gone. We've gone as low as 45. Obviously on a weekly, we were a lot lower, but it is, and I hope you can see, very much at a fib level that I'm interested in. This was one of the lowest lows that we've seen in a while, and in my opinion the risk to reward here is beautiful. If you play some harmonics, and once again, I don't want to confuse anyone, but you know, we all have different trading styles. This also looks to me like a nice harmonic playing out. This is a beautiful Gartley playing out. That, you know, 618 got tapped, and if everything goes well, we should see a $90 or thereabouts PayPal pretty soon. So, yep, beautiful entry or re-entry, I should say, here for PayPal. If you don't have any, I'll say this is a buy today, buy tomorrow kind of scenario. Obviously, you can set different limits lower, but given the fact that this is already a second entry, our first entry was here, you know how I usually say, you can average down. I definitely say this is your entry right now. So happy to call PayPal out now. Excuse me. Let's have a look at DUOL. Duolingo called a little while ago, I think now, but is perfectly into our DCA. I think we were talking about it here. I said I'm not ready yet to call it. It has officially entered our DCA zone. So I am once again happy to call this today for an entry. So you can see structurally wise, we had obviously liquidity building, liquidity building, grab, and then obviously we went up. And now we are sitting at the 786 below the 886. In my opinion, this is a very good entry. The entry was actually down here. Still a very good entry at $188, and a take profit at 260 would be pretty good in my opinion, fill in the gaps. So Duolingo is another buy that we talked about it now for a couple of weeks, I think. GME, I'm gonna be more patient. I've been patient for months, if you remember, and if not, I'll give you a quick rundown. Basically, what we wanted to see in GME, if my trading view wants to cooperate with me, I don't know, maybe it's, there you go, there it is. We see this trend line broken finally. I want to see, trading view, come on. I want to see this liquidity, this low here tapped. And if it doesn't get tapped, I'm okay with giving it a pass, but at $21, I'd rather wait for 17 and get that sniper entry 17. Because that gives me a clean 2x if and when we go back into that $34 up here, which I think will be, this is definitely a doable move. All it takes, you can see, it's probably a couple of weeks, a couple of these candles, 3 candles with that move right there. So, yep, GME, I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I'm not saying, it's a bad level to buy. It's not. If you want to initiate a position here, at 21, you can. I would probably leave a little bit of casciola or moolah or whatever you call money for down below, personally. All right, talking about entries. Today I'm giving you the entries because we finally, our patience has finally paid off. With Webull, who remembers Webull? I said I'm not going to call it now, but put it on your radar because I wanted to see this liquidity, these equal lows being taken out. And I said before I call it, this is a structure that I want to see. Higher high, higher high, and then we take the entry. Well, we're starting now to see the liquidity trend line has been taken. So great, money taken, big tick. Now I want to see structure forming. So I'm happy to basically give it a little bit more time, maybe a few days, maybe a week or a couple of weeks, depending, because obviously now stock market is closed. But the moment we start to see some strength coming in the form of obvious structure, basically I want to see this. Can you see here? So we went from low, making lows, into making highs, and this is where we enter. I'd rather enter it here. Yes, you leave a little bit on the table, but obviously I've got more probability to for a nice big move up. And you can see we're starting to gap up already, which is usually a very good sign, meaning that there's a lot of buying pressure. If we look at the news, actually I haven't looked at the news, but there you go. It's maintained a buy, cuts PT on trading, so record revenue and customers' assets driven by innovation and global expansion. Webull is really making a push for crypto, so that is bullish. And yeah, I'm very, very pleased with what I'm seeing here with Webull. So once again, if you want to initiate a position now, you definitely can. Just be mindful that we might see a little bit lower. So from 9 we'll come back maybe to 7, but then the upside is obviously a lot higher. So Webull is nice. Yes, but hey, Ray, g'day first of all, and second, we know what market needs to do. Market needs to go and refuel, needs to take money. So, it's interesting now. It's interesting now that Webull has almost an all-time low. It did all-time low. Now they're starting to really push and making all-time revenue. So interesting, right? Not really. That's how smart money moves. So, I've got two more stocks here. Timely news events. That's exactly the three words. Timely news event. Always. Speaking of timely news events, this is a great chart to study. Moderna stock. If you don't know what Moderna is, obviously it's a health. They're the people that were behind COVID vaccine and whatnot. Massive, massive stock. 2020, not surprising, they went on an absolute tear. I wonder why, right? I wonder why. I was watching this, I was looking at this chart today. What was your, anyone in the States? This is a question for the people, for our friends in the State. Do you remember what date you guys went in lockdown? For us, it was March. So this was, yeah, March. Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. It was interesting to see the stock in Moderna. If I go back, I was looking at the volume, and let's see if I can pick it up. So we were here, right? We were trading into the $17 range. Yep. Yeah. So on 25th of February, look at the volume spike. 25th of February. Interesting. Yeah, sometimes the chart tell you what's about to come even before it comes. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, and timely, the earnings were on the 26th of February, which actually pushed the price down. Yeah, so look at this. Like, you can't make this shit up. The biggest volume in history of Moderna, ever since it was traded, came in the market on 25th of Feb. Interesting. Anyway, back to today. Fast forward to today. I just thought that there was this. It's always fun to go back and watch. Hey, the charts would actually try. The market, it's trying to talk to us, fam. I'm telling you, my students know this. I make joke about it. The markets are constantly talking to us. It's whether are we able to listen? Are we able to understand what they're trying to tell us? So Moderna is sitting at a very, very interesting level once again. It came back obviously all the way down. And guess what it's building now? Liquidity. And guess what it has grabbed? Liquidity. You can see that, right? Oops. Let me just grab it. Equal lows. Grab liquidity. Fantastic. We like a liquidity sweep. Because now means we're likely going to push higher. Do we stop at $31? Possible. Do we go back and fill some of this at $90? That's great. That would be a 3x. Or do we come back all the way back here into the 160s? Anyway, I'm just saying Moderna is a great risk to reward play, in my opinion, as is. You are pretty much at the bottom of it. Pretty much. Meaning that your downside risk is pretty low. Liquidity swept already. Yep, I haven't seen any unusual spikes yet, but you can see that there's a little bit of volume that's starting to come up, and this is something that for stocks, I've only talked about a couple of times, but you can see price is going down, volume is going up. This is a divergence. Once again, market is trying to talk to us. Yeah, so price down, volume up. This is trying to tell us something down here. Possible reversal on Moderna. Yep. If I was to wager something, and I'm a buyer here. Just I'm clarifying. I'm buying. 400% move, 350% move in the coming weeks, totally doable. If you want to be conservative, you know, and you just simply go into daily, you can see also on the daily this gap up here. If you want to be conservative, you know, $40, that's a 2x. So yeah, nice little stock play for us. Well, actually, we've got a few. We've got PayPal a buy, DUOL a buy, GME is a hold, Bull is a initiate if you want, and Moderna is another buy now. So great time to start some stock positions here, fam. Last but not least, Circle. We all know Circle, yeah? If you don't know what Circle is, you shouldn't be in crypto. Yeah? USDC. The people behind USDC. Circle. Stock they have. Yes, they're publicly traded. Yes, they're trading it almost at an all-time low. Once again, risks to reward here is, in my opinion, very, very juicy to start a position. Can it go below and sweep the previous, the opening price of 65? You can. We're at 72. But even if we go somewhere in the 50s and the upside is somewhere in the 130, I can digest, I can stomach being a little bit underwater for, you know, a few days, few weeks. If my upside is 2, 3x, this is how I personally approach stocks. I'm never going to try to time the perfect bottom of it, okay? This is too risky. It's a gamble. I personally like to initiate a position when I don't hold the stock. And if it goes lower, it goes lower. I can add a little bit more. But in my opinion, Circle is a very, very good buy at this, you know, at this $72 mark, and potentially even all the way down into the 50s. So lots of bullish news on Circle, catalyst happening as well. Obviously, they are the favorite crypto, they're the golden child in the US. Yeah, they're all going to do well. They're all in bed with the states. You know, Coinbase, Circle, with the United States of America's government. They are going to do well. Okay, that was it in terms of let me, who's that? George, I think your mic is not off. I'm getting some. Let me, there you go. That's it for stocks, fam. So we got quite a few today. All good, brother. All good. In my opinion, this is a great time for people who want to start building a stock portfolio. Why do I say that? Crypto is likely on the way down for the next probably 12 months, in my opinion, something like that. This doesn't mean that you cannot rotate profit that you've made. Hopefully you've taken some profit, and if not, maybe you've got some money to invest. Well, you can still make money in things like the right stocks at the moment. Is there going to be a stock bubble bursting? I don't listen to any of that crap. There's always a bubble that's about to burst somewhere. Okay, and with stocks, well, people have money in S&P 500, in retirement. Things go down before they go up. So no, I'm not worried about, you know, some of the rumors that are circulating in the stock. Oh, we're gonna go down. The AI bubble is about to burst. The AI bubble is not going anywhere. The AI bubble is gonna be here for another, you know, probably 5 years. Now, obviously, we're all waiting for AGI. When is that gonna happen? Who knows? But long story short, we do have for the next 12 months some stocks that can still give us some great return. I don't want to get you spread too thin with, you know, having 25 stocks. That's not what I want you to do. Just pick a narrative. For me, the narrative is always going to be where the money flows. So things like PayPal, always. Who has strategic reserve? So I always look at their balance sheet. If you go in Yahoo Finance, you can see what they hold in their balance sheet. So GME, obviously, they're going to add a ton of Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Bullish. I'm going to see as stocks that are underperforming, that are undervalued, things like Duolingo, And I'm going to see obviously narratives, things like Moderna. That's healthcare. Anything healthcare at the moment is doing some pretty big move. There was one that I didn't call again that I was looking at, and that was, I think, Oscar. Where is it? But this was a good example to bring up because it gave us, it was back here, 54% move and now retrace all the way back. So Oscar Health was another one that I was looking at back at entry, but I missed it. I missed the call. I wanted to call it. Obviously, with now you can see moving up. It's already gone up. It's 47%. So I'm just going to hold back. If it comes back and fills some of this gap here, I might call it again. So healthcare, in my opinion, is obviously something that is always a good exposure to have, and where the money flows. Circle, PayPal. You can do, other banks and whatnot, but I'm all for decentralized or centralized crypto. Things like these two, obviously, in my opinion, that they're no-brainer. Any questions before we spin a wheel? I want to know if there's any questions. No questions. Was that good that there was no questions? Come on, impossible. You've answered everything for now. Thanks, Bad. Means I'm gonna be watching the replay. All good, Joe. It's all good. Perfect. Well, I said too much. Oh, stop it. All right, let's do a little spinny wheel. I won't go anywhere, fam. If you're here, somebody on this call is gonna get 1 hour. Am I bearish on crypto for the next 1 year? Yes, I am. I'm not bearish on it's not. I'm not bearish on crypto. I'm bearish on the price action of crypto. Okay, I think Bitcoin is gonna hit $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 in the next 4 to 6 years. For the next 12 months, what goes up needs to come down. All right. Can everybody see the wheel? Am I sharing the wheel? I'm not sure. Yes, you can see the wheel. Beauty. Beauty. All right. 3, 2, 1. Somebody's going to win 1 hour mentorship with me for free on my birthday. Oh! Ossa, are you on the call? Is Ossa on the call? Ossa, you gotta be on the call. Yay! Winner! All right, we'll tee up a time. Love it. You beauty. There was quite a few of you, as you can see. So it was cool. You beauty. All right, we got a winner. Happy days. All right, fam. If there's no other questions, yes, you are, Pat. You are right there. Where are you? I can see the names. I think you are. Did you react? As long as you reacted, it should be there. Yeah, Kappa nearly got it. Everybody should be there. There was like 37 people or something. All right, team. I'm going to get in touch, of course, with Ossa, and for everyone else, did you react, Pad? Did you react, Pad, to the react to what? To the announcement. To the announcement in the Aussie channel. I don't think I did. Yeah, that's why you're not on the wheel, my friend. That's why you're not on the wheel. No! I can't do this live. There was like 30, 35 people to trying to please. So I had to do it based on the reactions. All good, all good. All right, fam. I'm going to upload this recording so we can all go watch it again. And once again, God bless you all. Thank you for being an amazing community to be a part of. I never take you guys for granted. It's always a pleasure coming and hanging out with all of you, week in, week out. And yes, I may or may not go and crack an early beer, even though it's only 11:30 a.m. on my birthday. I'm meant to be working, but hey, only birthday once a year. So thank you all for spending it with me, and absolutely an amazing Thanksgiving Day for all my friends in the States, and I think Canada celebrates it as well. So, but if not, God bless you all, and see you guys next week.